Okay, create, and if I provide the same information once again, okay, instead of maybe test, I'll say domestic vendor, DOM vendor for RECH. Search term I will keep it as same RECH. Then the mandatory fields like postal code, the city, the country, and the language. Okay. Now if I try to go to company code data, again if I provide the same information, that is RECH, okay, and press enter, provide the reconciliation account and the sort key also. Let's try to save it. See, we are getting the error. You cannot create a vendor with grouping RD01. So business partner grouping RD01 is not still configured properly to create a vendor. Why? Just click on this error. It may tell you the detailed information. It is not giving you the detailed. Some of the errors will give you the proper detailed information. What is missing, where to go and do the setup. Some of the errors will just give you the one-liner and it will not explain you what is wrong. Okay, but we know what is wrong. The wrong thing is that we have still not mapped this business partner grouping to our vendor account group. Okay, so that configuration, if you don't maintain, the system will not allow you to create a vendor out of the BP. Okay, so where do you need to maintain that configuration now? So these paths are very difficult to remember. Maybe once you, after this session, whenever you get a video, I will definitely provide you the PPTs for this, but you also try to maintain the notes on your own. Okay, so how exactly it will work? You have to
Vikram?
I think we again lost.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, Vikram, we cannot hear you.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Vikram, we can hear you now.
Sorry, dear. There is some network issue today. I'm not sure what is wrong. Okay, so I was showing you that configuration from where you would be able to map the business partner grouping to the vendor account group. Okay, so that configuration is again available within cross application components. In cross application components, you will go to master data synchronization, this particular folder. Okay, this path, as I told you, is little bit complicated. So within master data synchronization, you will go to CVI, customer vendor integration. Okay, in interviews, they can ask you if you worked on S4HANA, are you aware about customer vendor integration? This is very critical configuration. So CVI, you will go to business partner settings. In business partner settings, there is a separate folder for customer integration and vendor integration. So currently we are discussing vendor integration. You will go to the vendor integration. In this field assignment for vendor integration, assign keys, and finally, this is where you need to map. Define number assignment from direction BP to vendor. You are assigning BP grouping to the vendor account group. Okay, so you'll click on this, and this is where you need to maintain the link between BP grouping and vendor account group. So in our case, RD01 needs to be assigned to RD01 vendor account group. So this is our BP grouping and this is our vendor account group. Okay, as of now, I'm not explaining you this. We will talk about this in detail. As of now, let's try to save it and click on saving this TR. Okay, so what will happen now? Now system will be able to determine the vendor account group automatically. Okay, so if you try to go to create supplier organization once again, if I try to go from scratch, which means I'll go to transaction BP. Okay, click on the new organization. So RD01 is our grouping. We want the role as FLVN00. FLV. Okay, this one, FLVN00. Click on create. Okay, provide whatever information you want. If you want to provide a complete name or whatever mandatory information you want to provide, search term. Okay, postal code and city, country, and important thing is language, which is also the mandatory field. Once this is done, you will again go to company code data. In company code data, you will enter the RECH, reconciliation account, sort key, and try to save it now. See, now we are getting the error. Required entry field external vendor number is empty. See what is happening? If you remember, the vendor number range that we created, which we assigned to RD01, was external, which means the number should be provided manually. And that is the reason system is asking us this external number. So if you go to general data, again in the vendor general data, okay, this is where you need to provide the external number. Okay, but if you provide the number which is outside the range, it will throw error. So let's assume I am just providing 100. See, it is very clearly telling the number should be in this range, 7,000 to 7,999. Okay, so coming to Akshay's question, Akshay asked this question that the number should be or must be in the same number range. Although it is external, I can skip the numbers, I can directly go to this number, that is fine. But as long as it is in the number range. Okay, so let's enter this number. It already is used, so I need to take any other number, let's say 99. Even this is already used. So yeah, so 7240, which is within the number range, and it is also available as a next number. Let's try to save it. Okay, it is asking you for this mandatory fields. We will provide this mandatory information and try to save it. Okay, so finally your business partner has been created with this number. This is a business partner number using the business partner grouping range, and this is a vendor number using vendor account group. Okay, so what we understood? We understood in SAP, if you want to create the vendor in ECC, it was created without linking the business partner. But in S4HANA, if you want to create a vendor, you have to go to transaction BP. You have to click on the new organization button. You have to provide the business partner grouping. Let me show you once again. You have to provide the business partner grouping. You can create your own groupings based on the vendor types, right? And this business partner groupings also need to be assigned to the vendor account groups, right? There are two roles which are related to vendor, FLVN00 and FLVN01. This is another important question which is asked in exam many times. Which are the two roles related to the vendor creation, or maybe in SD exam it will come as which are the two roles related to customer master data. Okay, so FLVN00 and FLVN01 for supplier, and FLCU00 and FLCU01 for customer. Okay, so based on the vendor account group, another good example of questions which come in the exam is, what is the purpose of vendor account group? So what exactly vendor account group controls?
Number range for vendor.
Sorry, number range. Your voice is not clear.
Field selection. Field is mandatory or not?
Field selection. Yes. Field control. Number range. Field control. Okay, there is a third one. You remember, as of now, we will discuss in detail, is whether it is a one-time vendor or not. Whether a one-time vendor. We'll talk about what is one-time vendor in our coming session. But just remember that whenever you create a new vendor account group, let me show it to you. It controls three important things. Number one is whether it is a the number range. It controls the number range, what numbers will come to that particular vendor account group. It controls the field status, which field is mandatory, which field is optional, and it also controls whether the vendor account group is for one-time vendors or the regular vendors. Okay, so master data preparation, and here you will be able to see RDO1. Okay, you can see whether it is one-time vendor. Here you can see the field status, and then here in assignment you can assign the number range. So these are the three important things which are controlled by the vendor account group. Okay, any questions?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Akshay.
Hello. Yeah. So
Yes, Akshay, go
Vikram,
ahead.
the BP number and the vendor number, do they have one-to-one relationship, or the BP number can have multiple vendor number? Means how this?
No, it is one-to-one. One BP will be assigned to one vendor.
So this will be always unique, correct?
Always unique, yes.
Okay.
So one BP cannot have multiple vendors. Similarly, one vendor cannot have multiple BPs.
Vikram, I have a question. Maybe I'm jumping.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shall I ask?
Hello, Raj, you were asking something?
Yeah. So I just want
Yes,
to maybe just as a quick thought, because if we structure these numbers correctly with BP grouping and vendor grouping, and with the number range I saw in the cost application component, that we can have them as same numbers, is it? When I create the system,
exactly.
okay, that's what,
Yes,
because that will be like,
yes.
say, migration. How does that impact? Because that also can be sorted, is it? If we give the, because existing vendor, if you have it in ECC, and because with S4HANA BP is mandatory, is there a way saying that we can put this old vendor number as external and make the new range as per the sync between BP and vendor? Is it a possibility?
Yes, Raj, both the things are possible. Number one, coming to your first question, which is relevant for all of you. So currently, the vendor that we have created, there was a separate number given to the vendor and the business partner. Okay, but that will create a confusion, right? You need to remember two separate numbers. You need to remember the custom PP number also, and you need to remember the vendor number also. So in order to simplify it, what you can do is we can provide the same number to the business partner and the vendor. Okay, so there is another configuration for that. If you want to have a same number for your BP and your vendor, it is possible with the additional configuration, right? That is number one.